So let's talk about the scholarship process for studying abroad. We'll first talk about the type of scholarships. There are three types. One is university, that what you get from the university you apply to, the country you are applying to, and scholarships from India. So different universities give scholarships in different ways. Some are first in, first out. So for example, you have NY Tandon in USA, TU Delft or ETH Zurich. These are some of the names in Europe which give scholarships on a first in, first come basis, even Stevens RIT for that matter. So what happens is, if you apply early, you are by default considered for a scholarship, everyone, and this is going to be a merit-based scholarship, not a need-based scholarship. While applying, many universities will have an option where you tick a box, hey, I want to apply for scholarship, and you might have to write an essay on why you should get a scholarship. So this would be a part of the application form. So if it is there, we will definitely help you out along with your SOPs. You talk to your SOP counselor, and the SOP counselor will help you with the scholarship essay in parallel. Not all universities have it, only some of them have it while applying. Some will say you want to apply, you put a checkbox, we'll automatically consider you for it. And this need not be first in, first out. You could be applying late. So some of them, what they do is they want to entice you. And then you know what, you sometimes bargain with them after you have an admit. Hey, I've got into scholarship in other colleges. Can I get a scholarship from you? So once you have multiple admits and you have scholarships, you contact us and we'll guide you on how to bargain for scholarships across colleges. Some will give you, some will not give you. So depending on the college, we can tell you which category they fit in, and accordingly you can, along with an admit, expect a scholarship. If not, you can always email and request for it. Some colleges will say you apply for a scholarship after you are admitted. The best example is UT Dallas. Now what UT Dallas says is this: hey, if 100 people are applying to our college and let's say we are admitting only 20 people, why are we asking the remaining 80 people to apply for scholarship? It's a waste of their time and our time, which makes sense. No college will give you a scholarship but not admit you. That does not make sense. So only after you are admitted will they give you a scholarship. So UT Dallas says, hey, if you are admitted, you log into your portal, and then on the portal you will find the list of scholarships for which you need to write essays and apply for it. Along with the admit letter, in the next steps, they will tell you, hey, this is what you need to do. If they don't tell you, then you request, hey, thank you for the admit letter. I'm great, I would love to join your college, but are there any, what are the scholarship avenues at your university? You request for them. The last category is upon checking in after you go there. A lot of colleges fall in this category, and the reason for that is simple. They give you a scholarship. What if you don't join that college, you join another college? Or what if you don't come? Or what if you don't get the visa? So till you land there, they don't know whether you are actually gonna come there. They have given you a scholarship, but you still end up going to another college. So sometimes what happens is they tell you, the professors will tell you, hey, why don't you come here? You prove yourself. We will interview you. We want to know you as a person, right? If I want to give you $20,000, I want to give you a research assistantship or a teaching assistantship or a graduate assistantship, I might want to see your work, I want to interview you. So that all will happen only after you go there. And sometimes what happens, you can prove yourself in the first semester, and on the basis of the results and your performance in first semester, you can get a scholarship in the subsequent semesters as well. Country-specific scholarships. Let's say University of Utah has various scholarships available, UT Arlington, SN Bose programs. So some of them are college-specific within the country. That hey, you are going to University of Connecticut, then you can apply for this scholarship. And some are in general, Fulbright, Nehru, etc. Now, one thing over here is most of these scholarships are usually in a cyclical order. So this, you apply in January, February, The results will come in March, April. Canada has their own list of programs and scholarships that you can apply to. This is just a summary. There are definitely more. So what are the requirements? A lot of scholarships in UK, and again, a lot of UK universities will give scholarships. Even in Ireland, a lot of them, blindly give 2,000-3,000 euros scholarships almost to everyone. You just need to apply for it. New Zealand, almost every university will give you a scholarship. Some of them just give it for formality. Hey, we'll give you $1,000, $2,000 just to entice you, just to show that, we are giving a scholarship. So again, that is not a huge amount. We are looking at something that's north of $10,000 to have a significant impact on the scholarship. So one good news is Australia is opening up from December 1 for students. So anyone targeting to go in the February intake or the next intake, Australia is open. Now these are the scholarships in India that you can apply to. A lot of them again will have their limitations. Some of them are only for females. Some of them, they have their own requirements. For example, I think Aga Khan is only for Muslims. Some of them are only for Parsis. Some of them give a lot of money, up to 20 lakh rupees. Some give 2 lakh rupees. I know a student who applied to all of these and he ended up getting 27 lakh rupees from about 13 to 14 institutes. Now, when you are applying for a scholarship, keep in mind that you want to come back to India and make India a better country. That's why these Indian companies are giving you scholarships. So you always talk of how you want to have a social impact and benefit, and how you want to go there, gain the expertise, and come back to India and grow India and be a part of the Make in India campaign. Okay, so you want to talk about that in your essays, you want to talk about being independent, etc. Similarly, in your letters of recommendation, you'll have to tweak the essays and the LORs that you had used to apply to the universities, and the professor has to highlight that how you are going to definitely contribute to the industry through your skill sets and all. So this is just a synopsis. You need details on writing these essays, you talk to your SOP counselor and they'll help you out. You might have face-to-face interviews. I think in the pandemic it might not happen. It might start again. We don't know. Some of them are technical interviews. Some of them are HR interviews. And some of them you'll have multiple rounds of interviews. So again, we will guide you through the process as and when we reach that stage.